Let's be clear. The Washington Agreement concerns two states, the Democratic Republic of Congo, our country, and the Republic of Rwanda. And they will establish mechanisms to carry out these operations. But to also tell you that in the area we control, there are these dormant cells, including the Wazalendo, the FDLR, the Nyaturas, who disturb the peace of the population. Those who disturb the population where we have control, we will take care of them. Because for us, the solution and security for our population depends on our responsibility. Where we are assuming sovereign responsibilities. They set a deadline of 10 days. If within 10 days from the date of signing, they release our prisoners, we will put together a ceasefire mechanism. We are within the deadline. If Kinshasa doesn't want to release our prisoners by the 27th, it's Kinshasa that's blocking, not us. We would be violating the Declaration of Principles.
Let's cross over now to CGTN's Chris Ochamringa. He's joining us live from Kinshasa. Chris, how are the Congolese authorities reacting to these latest demands by the M23?
Well, Beatrice, there's been no official communication from authorities here in Kinshasa, but they're very disappointed about this turn of events. I spoke to an official on condition of anonymity, and he said that this ultimatum issued by the M23 rebels goes against the Declaration of Principles that they signed in Doha on July 19th. They're saying that one of the key issues that they agreed to was that they would resolve this conflict peacefully, and that everything they would do would be grounded on diplomacy, negotiation, and they would desist from the use of hostile rhetoric or the threats about the use of force. So they're saying this ultimatum is pretty much a threat of return to fighting in case the government of Kinshasa does not honor or keep the end of their bargain. And they're also saying that the Congolese army, there are very many soldiers who were captured by the M23 rebels when they captured Goma and Bukavu. They were taken to camps, they were trained and integrated in the M23 rebels. They also expect those soldiers to be handed over, to be released. So they're saying this is supposed to be a reciprocal issue, not just the M23 saying their soldiers have to, or people who have been arrested in connection with their movement should be released. So people here are very disappointed. They're saying that this threat has really spoiled the relations and also undermined this peace process. And they also say that the release of prisoners is just one issue. The M23 is making it look like it's the most important, but there are other equally important issues out of the 7 points that they both signed. One of them is the permanent ceasefire that both sides agreed to, and the other is the restoration of state authority. The government expects M23 to leave all the areas that they have captured, dismantle all the administrative structures that they have set up, but the M23 rebel leader, like you mentioned, Beatrice, said that they're not going to leave Goma, Bukavu, and the other areas. So that has really undermined this peace process and raised fears of a resumption of fighting. Beatrice?
So what about ordinary citizens? How are they reacting both in the capital and in the regions held by the M23?
Well, very many ordinary Congolese want a return to peace. By all means, they just want the leaders to find a way of reconciling their differences and ensuring that the guns fall silent, because there have been very many people who have lost their lives, thousands of people, millions others have been displaced, and we have been told that about 60,000, more than 60,000 women have faced acts of sexual violence. Women and girls have been raped in this conflict. So people want to return to their homes and continue their normal lives. So they, especially people in the east of the DRC, they really want these two sides, the Congolese government and the M23 rebels, to agree to end all this fighting. But there are other Congolese in areas like Kinshasa and other parts of the DRC who feel that the soldiers, the rebels who were caught in battle, who have committed atrocities, must be answered, must be held to account. They're saying it's going to be a very bad precedent. It's going to be promoting impunity in this country. So those soldiers, I mean, the fighters of the M23 who have been captured, have to face justice in the DRC. And we have seen a number of senior military officers in the DRC being arrested over the past couple of weeks because of allegedly planning to plot a coup. They have been said to have had phone conversations with some of the leaders of the M23 and former President Joseph Kabila. So it's a very tense situation here, but we're waiting to see whether these leaders, the two sides, will go back to the negotiating table to resolve this conflict.
And Chris, it has been a week since that Doha deal. How have things changed on the ground so far? And what do we expect in the next few weeks in terms of the peace process?
Well, according to officials I've spoken to in Eastern DRC, nothing much has changed. The situation is quite the same. The rebels are still controlling the territories they have been controlling, and they are set up the administrative structures. They're collecting taxes from the people there. And we have heard that there have been reports, actually the situation has deteriorated because there have been reports of fighting in areas like Masisi, Ruchuru, between the M23 rebels and the pro-government militia known as Wazalendo. They have continued the attacks, and so there is a number of people who have continued fleeing from their villages after returning to that area, thinking that the fighting has ended because of the Doha peace accord. So the situation is still not good. We are waiting to see, it's still early days, but we're waiting to see how the United States and Qatar, whether they will put some pressure to bear on both sides to get back to the negotiating table to end this conflict.